Yeah, you know what? We could start showing this. Here, let's try this one on for size. Let's see what this one's about today. Ready? Okay, I'll be back in a moment, fellas, and we'll go from there. I'm just changing up the title. All right, let's jump into space news after this. After a short word from our sponsors. A fagizzy? A fagizzy is where, 10 fagizzis is in where the fagizzy. I'll be back in a second. I'm eating.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Station is ready for the event.
Administrator Nelson, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Bill Nelson. I'm calling you for a check.
And I have pudding.
We have you loud and clear, sir. How about us?
You are very good. Okay, let's proceed. Station, I'm here with Deputy Administrator Pam Milroy, and I'm here with the Italian Space Minister, also ASI President Secoscia, and we are in Rome to meet with the Italian leadership following a very successful ESA Council meeting in the Netherlands earlier this week. I want to thank you for giving us the time. Needless to say, this is well noted in Rome because of Samantha on board. So I'm going to ask the first question to Jessica. Why don't you give everybody a glimpse into all of the kind of scientific work that you are doing on the International Space Station? Jessica, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a pleasure to be speaking with all of you today. We have the privilege of doing lots of different science experiments up here using the International Space Station as the laboratory that it is. One of the neatest parts about the ISS is being able to use microgravity as an environment to really be able to kind of drill down, isolate variables, and do scientific experiments in a new way. So especially when we think about material science, combustion type of work, as well as fluid dynamics, plant growth, those types of cell biology, those types of experiments, really being able to utilize this microgravity environment that we have uniquely on the ISS allows us to really investigate new questions in new ways. Another piece of the science that we're able to do up here is really to investigate the effects of long-duration spaceflight on the human body, which will obviously be important. It is important now for us as well as in the future as we start to explore further and further into the solar system. So we become the test subjects ourselves and learn about how the human body responds to this unique environment. We also are able to use the ISS as a test bed to test new technologies in addition to our scientific experiments. And those technologies are what will lead the way to the moon and to Mars as NASA looks towards the Artemis program to institute some of those technologies. So we really is a privilege to be up here, to be able to participate in the kind of groundbreaking scientific work that we're doing up here.
That's so cool. It's just wonderful to see you guys. I love to see your smiling faces. This is Pam, the Deputy Administrator. I also want to point out that we have ESA Director General Joseph Aschbacher with us as well, but I'm going to slip in a question quick. Thanks for waving. I saw you wave. My question's for Kjell. Can you tell us a little bit more about your perspective about how the work you're doing on station from 400 kilometers above our heads, how is that benefiting humanity and our daily life here on Earth?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be talking with you all, and as Jessica mentioned, a lot of our research is looking at how the human body changes in this weightless and space flight environment. And while we are studying a lot of these things to better prepare ourselves for the long missions that we have ahead, going back to the moon and then in the future going to Mars, a lot of our research is directly aimed at benefiting life back on Earth. For example, this particular environment, weightlessness, and the spaceflight environment, including radiation and the temperature, the atmosphere, all has changes on the human body, which we are as Jessica mentioned, test subjects for. And a lot of the changes that we see in the human body mimic some of the disease processes that we see on Earth. Muscle atrophy, bone loss. We see advanced aging in the immune system, and there are pieces of this that scientists can use to better understand the pathophysiology and develop treatments for diseases back on Earth. We have a water reclamation system where we recycle close to 96–97% of our water to, again, not only sustain a long duration mission, but that ability to recycle water, to take essentially dirty water and make it potable, is something that is incredibly valuable on Earth, where so many of our populations don't have access to clean water. Unfortunately, a lot of this research takes time to develop, and an example of that, this environment, this weightless environment, provides an amazing test bed for studying protein growth and crystal growth. And some of that study resulted in insights into an incurable genetic disease on the Earth called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And the Japanese scientists have taken that information, that understanding, to develop therapeutics that can slow the process of that disease by half, increasing the lifespan of those who are afflicted with this disease, essentially doubling their lifespan. So pharmaceutical companies have taken that information and are now currently in phase 3 trials, and hopeful that we'll see that released in around the 2027 timeframe.
I mean, this is really so amazing. Hello, this is Joseph Aschbacher. He's Director General, and I'm calling from Austria remotely. I would love to be with you in Rome. It would be very nice. And really hello from my side here to Kjell, Bob, Jessica, and Samantha. The reason I'm here is because I was asked at university to give a speech, a commencement speech to young, fresh graduates from a university. And this, of course, is always a very special moment for them. It was a fantastic event. It is really always good to see the reaction of the young people. Some of them told me that they want to become an astronaut. And Samantha, as you perfectly know, last year ESA made a call for astronaut applications for the first time since 2008, when you actually applied and you were chosen afterwards. This year we received a record 23,000 applications for the call we did last year, and we're going through the selection process right now. I will select the final candidates in a few months. and then we will make the public announcement in November this year. So, Samantha, what advice would you have for the new astronaut candidates when they are selected? And what advice would you have for future candidates who might aspire to become an astronaut?
Yes, first of all, good afternoon to Austria, and good afternoon to everyone in Rome. A pleasure to talk to you all from Space Station. Yes, indeed. So we are in the final phases of the our new astronaut selection, and so I'm very much looking forward to meet our new colleagues when I get back on Earth, or a few months after that. But in terms of young people who might aspire to become astronauts one day, I always say that I think it's important as you grow up to really challenge yourself. So try and really do things that maybe you're a little bit scared of, or that you think you're not quite up to yet, because that's the way that you grow, that you learn new skills, new competence, you acquire new competence and knowledge, but also you build your character, and you understand that you can do hard things, you can learn new things, you can push your limits. And I think that's a little bit part of then going through an astronaut selection maybe one day, or being trained as an astronaut. I always also tell them to try and learn a lot of diverse things, to try their hand at many different things, and it can be their main specialty, maybe in a STEM subject, but also in sports, but also maybe in volunteering, also maybe in expeditions, travel in expeditionary environments, anything that can develop teamwork skills. All of that is something that we certainly look for in astronaut candidates.
Thank you, Samantha. Let me just say how nice it is to see the four of you. I still have in my eyes the image of the four of you at the preparation facility in Kennedy when we visited you with Joseph just before the launch, the day before Samantha's birthday. And you have the same smile, but you are simply in a different and more exciting environment. And actually, talking about this environment, maybe I have a question to Bob. I would like to ask you, Bob, can you tell us something about the climate instruments on the station, and how those instruments are providing us a better understanding on how the climate here on Earth is changing?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that question, sir. Yeah, one of the unique things about the International Space Station is the orbit that we're in, and because of the inclination of our orbit, we cover a very, very large portion of the Earth on a daily basis, and so we get to get multiple looks at different parts of the Earth, and we see those multiple times a day. So one of the best instruments that we have up here, in my opinion, is our eyeballs. So looking out the window and being able to see the Earth as it changes, and that is truly a privilege, but it is also an opportunity for us to notice and see the way the Earth is changing, whether there be natural phenomena going on, natural disasters, things like that. We have the capability to get near real-time photography and imagery of that kind of thing just by looking out the window, taking our pictures with our own cameras or with the onboard cameras that are external here to the space station. In addition to that, we have lots of different instruments that are looking down at the Earth, measuring things like sea height. And we have a new payload coming up here in the next several days called EMIT, which is going to be looking at the content of dust in arid regions, and the way that dust gets transmitted by the winds to different parts of the world, and the effects that dust can have on the climate, the populations, and the vegetation in those different areas. So the opportunities are endless up here. We've got a very unique vantage point up here to observe the Earth and the way it's changing.
Thank you, Bob. And well, it seems I have the privilege to be given the opportunity for another question, and of course I can't miss the opportunity to give it to Samantha, our Italian pride in orbit in this moment. Samantha, can you can you talk about the importance of international collaboration and how this has bolstered the work both on station and on ground for Europe and Italy?
Yes, I think that when it comes to human space exploration, international cooperation is just a multiplier of opportunities. If we pull our resources together, then every participant can focus on what they do best, and then we can integrate the skills and the expertise, and really also the sheer resources that everybody can pitch in, and so we can achieve more. Now, there's also challenges associated with running a project internationally, right? The coordination effort becomes a lot more complicated, and that is a fact. But I do think that the space station has shown that it is possible, and it's really a legacy of space station. One of the important legacies of space station to have shown how that can be done, and over time also how those processes can be improved and how we can maximize the benefit without being hindered too much by the coordination complexity that big international projects require. It's also, I think, always a beacon of hope and something to be hopeful about for the future, when we can see that it's possible and it's valuable to cooperate across countries, across cultures, all over the world, and that can even be continued and sustained and maintained with goodwill, even in times when there is conflict. And so I think that that is all incredibly valuable.
Well, I can't miss the opportunity to let you guys know that one of our colleagues is here in the room with us, Paolo Nespoli, an Italian ESA astronaut who actually we flew together on his first flight. I'm looking at the station and thinking how much it's changed. I guess my question is for Jessica, because it's all new to you, and what surprised you about the station? How did you feel when you got that first view of the Earth out of the cupola?
Yeah, it's something that we talk a lot about here. What has been surprising and new to myself and to Bob, and what has felt more like home, a homecoming of sorts for Chell and Samantha. It is kind of a strange consignment of things. So it is at the same time very familiar. We have excellent mock-ups and instructors on the ground that really prepare us, to a point where when we come up here, the equipment that we're working with, the environment that we're working in general feels very familiar. However, at the same time, of course, being in microgravity is the most unfamiliar that we've ever experienced. So learning to kind of adapt to that environment while still all yet feeling somewhat familiar is kind of an interesting dichotomy, and is something that maybe surprised me a bit.
Hey guys, it's back to me. Would you like to go further? You're 200 plus miles above the Earth. We're getting ready to launch a rocket. It's going out there to 230,000 miles. And then we want to go with humans. We want to go millions and millions of miles all the way. Are you all game for that?
I'm also talking to you
we're going to be
in a
elbowing
cave.
each other to get the front of line on that one. Absolutely, we are all ready to go. I know our entire office is ready to support the entire effort that it takes to get there, and we're excited. The fact that NASA is leading the way in this collaboration with all of our international partners to do this amazing thing, which is the next step in exploration, which is the Artemis program. So we are 100% ready to go, and we're really excited to see what the future holds.
So as we close out, would you show people how you have to reprogram your brain, as Pam and I did years ago, if you want to get from point A to point B on the station or in your spacecraft, you have to think about it, and you have to pull or push yourself. Can you give the folks back home a little demonstration of how you do that? Because you can't just swim where you are. Go ahead, Commander.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, yes, sir. It is an amazing thing when you first experience weightlessness, as you well know. And I think one of the most amazing things is how quickly our brains adapt to it. The fact that we grow up in an environment where gravity is a constant, it is permeates everything, and that we can come up to this environment, and really within hours and days, it's not even a second thought. There's no I think within a day there was no expectation that I would ever walk up here in the space station. You float. That's what you do. Now when you first get up here, you don't float very well, but over time, really within 4 to 6 weeks, I think, watching these guys go from just being exposed to it to now moving around like pros is really cool. But you do have to plan ahead. If you push off and head for something and then you miss a handrail, you end up careening into equipment or people. But I think Farmer wants to do a demonstration of a backflip here for us on the handrail.
Oh, this is going to be terrible.
Nicely done. And of course, we can use our hands, we can use our feet. We have these blue handrails that you see around station. We hook our feet under those to stay in place or to push off, or we grab on the handrails to turn. It's a pretty neat demonstration of physics, the Newton's laws of physics every day.
Okay, Houston, I guess we better turn it back over to you. Otherwise, we'll have them doing all kind of flips and sailing like Superman and all of that. You guys look great. You're obviously staying very fit. We are very grateful to you for your service to humankind. So God bless you, and we look forward to talking to you on the next uplink.
Thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be a part of this team and to have this opportunity to talk with you all. We wish you the best.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you to the Administrator, Deputy Administrator, and all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communication.
I just ate that food way too fast. That was from today, guys. That was a little earlier while we were playing Flight Simulator. Oh, your boy ate too quickly. Milk was a bad choice. Milk was a bad milk. Yeah, well, that's what we learned to do, Blue. We play We play Bill at 1.5 times the speed. Okay. I'm sure you like Italian cars too. I posted new CEOs in Discord. Where is that at? All right. Okay. Oh, boy. New cars in Discord. Okay. What do we got lined up for space news today? Oh, yeah. We have, yeah, there's some stuff. Where did these end up, Podwe? I'm looking around for them in Discord. I don't see. Huh. There's some job openings at SpaceX. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Bod, we have cars and motorsports. Yeah, I don't see them in here. I'm looking through them right now. I don't see it. I'm scrolling up. I'm sure I'll find him eventually. Anyway, let's get into space news. So there is some stuff here. Where is it? Let me get some links. Sorry, I had to talk to Brima about some stuff here. All right, so there is a NASA notice that I want to look into. Some interesting stuff here. I'm not sure I'm like 100% okay with what I'm seeing here, but let's read and we'll figure it out. Let's see. I'm trying to find it here. Give me one moment. I'm gonna cry. Check some contracts, maybe. All right, well, we can... This is generated by NASA procurement. Okay, so yeah, here's the introduction. All right, here. So check this out. All right, this is the big space news that I have today. Here. So let's take a look. So NASA released a solicitation today, a special notice on the lease of vehicle assembly building High Bay 1, which is very... Okay. So, let me bring everybody up to speed. The vehicle assembly building is where NASA builds their rockets. It is a building to assemble the vehicle. It's freaking gigantic. It's about 500 feet tall, about 150 meters for the metric folks. And it has 4 gigantic, large open spaces inside of it to put rockets together, with cranes going back and forth between the bays. There's 2 bays that face this way and 2 bays that face that way. Now, hey Manatee, what's going on? So, I noticed there's a solicitation for High Bay 1. Okay, so if you look at the VAB, if we're looking at a kind of a diagram here, so the VAB has an open center space called the transfer aisle, where you transfer stage components, first and second, etc., to the mobile launchers, which are these things that go. The mobile launchers go inside of the building. This whole thing goes inside, and then from there, they have a big crane up here and 2 even bigger cranes up there. And what those things do is they stack the stages, right? Pretty straightforward stuff. So the VAB has 4 high bays. There's High Bay 1, High Bay 3, High Bay 2, and High Bay 4. Or 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So, and then here's the transfer aisle. This is looking at it from the top, right? So, what were the high bays used for during Apollo, for instance? Well, during Apollo, they used High Bay 1, High Bay 2, and High Bay 3 to assemble Saturn V's. Like that. That's pretty straightforward stuff. The mobile launcher rolls in the ML with this piece attached to it, the red part, which is called the launch umbilical tower. The crawler transporter will roll it in, it'll set it down, and then they'll build the rocket right on it. The whole launch pad goes inside of this building. It's pretty freaking cool. That's pretty neat. So, the crawler wing does go all the way around, and you had 3 mobile launchers, so you had 3 high bays for 3 mobile launchers. You built 3 stacks. After Apollo, they switched all of the mobile launchers to MLPs, mobile launcher platforms, and then they rolled They rolled shuttles out of them. They only rolled shuttles out of High Bay 1 and High Bay 2. That's it. So there's the shuttle rolling out of the VAB. That's out of High Bay 3 right there, right? So, High Bay 4 and High Bay... hang on, let me go forward. So, they used High Bay 1 and High Bay 3 during the shuttle program. High Bay 2 was used as storage, and High Bay 2 was used as SRB storage. And then High Bay 4 was used for external tank checkout. See, ETPSF, actually that was on both sides. So they used these 2 for storing shuttle components. And then they used High Bay 3 and High Bay 1 to build the shuttle stacks, right? Yeah, see? Actually, from what I can see here, it looks like they could use High Bay 2 if they needed to. How do you lock the sections? What do you mean, lock the sections? I don't understand. So it looks like 2, 1, and 3 were also used for the shuttle, but that's another story. So, okay. Now, after the shuttle program, this all went away. And they started redoing High Bay 3, and High Bay 3 only for SLS. High Bay 3 is configured for SLS. We're good. That one's good to go. We know because it built an SLS stack, right? It built an SLS stack and put it out on the pad. It is currently out there on the pad right now. High Bay 4 right now is used to stage SLS SRBs. So SRBs go in here. And then an SLS core stage comes in through the transfer aisle and gets loaded into High Bay 3. Now, here's the thing. High Bay 2, so High Bay 4 and High Bay 3 are unused, or are used. High Bay 1 is still in shuttle configuration because it's basically just been sitting there. It's in shuttle configuration with the exception of basically having a shuttle stack on it. High Bay 2 over here is still in shuttle configuration, or the last configuration that it was used in, right? And it's kind of just there. So, we've seen NASA in the past right? NASA in the past has released solicitations for people to lease out High Bay 2. Because we always assumed that High Bay 1 was going to be used for a new version of SLS. They were going to tool High Bay 1 and High Bay 3 for SLS, which is cool. That's pretty neat. During the Apollo missions, how did they stack the sections and keep them from falling apart while moving? Is there some sort of locking mechanism? Clayton, I'm not understanding what you're trying to ask, dude. What are you talking about? What part of integration are you talking about? They bolt the stages together with explosive bolts, but the explosive bolts wouldn't. The pyrotechnics for the explosive bolts wouldn't be installed until it gets to the pad. I don't. They're bolted together just with an explosive bolt. That's it. So. Let's see. We have a lease a vehicle High Bay 1. I'm interested to read what this says. NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Kennedy Space Center is requesting letters of interest from U.S. domestic entities for lease of the vehicle assembly building High Bay 1 for launch operations, including ground operations, pre-launch integration, checkout, and spacecraft or payload testing at KSC. KSC Master Plan contemplates both U.S. government and commercial launch activities at KSC. The Central Planning and Development Directorate, CPD, develops, implements, and administers the KSC Master Plan. Periodically, CPD conducts market research and seeks industry commitment on specific aspects of the KSC Master Plan. The purpose of this special notice is to identify U.S. domestic entities interested in leasing VAB High Bay 1 as part of an end-to-end concept of operations for launch and processing activities at KSC. NASA will only consider uses of VAB High Bay 1 that involve the processing of launch or landing vehicles built to operate in, place in, or return to Earth orbit or outer space, or payload or human beings. The VAB is capable of accommodating multiple users performing concurrent, discrete activities. You just saw Top Gun Detour wear your sunglasses? NASA will not provide office space incident to use of VAB High Bay 1. NASA conducted market research in 2021 for the use of VAB High Bay 2. NASA has decided to not proceed at this time with an agreement or competitive selection process for High Bay 2. NASA is considering leasing High Bay 1 in as-is condition for the term of 1 2-year base period and 1 2-year option period. The information NASA receives in response to the special notice will inform its strategy for lease of VAB High Bay 1. NASA will retain ownership and control of the facility and will act as the site operator integrator for maintenance of the facility and equipment. In addition, NASA must review and approve any modifications to High Bay 1. Okay, I have questions. So NASA wants to, let me get you that VAB diagram up again. So High Bay 3 is for SLS. High Bay 4 is for storing SLS parts. High Bay 1 is unused in shuttle configuration, and High Bay 2 is, yes, I guess. I'm not sure. So NASA is not using High Bay 2, but for some reason concluded that High Bay 1 is more financially viable. I don't understand what the hell's going on here. The reason why is that High Bay 1 was always, they were going to use that for the new version of SLS. Because of direct crawler access, maybe. High Bay 2 has crawler access. It has a shuttle mobile launcher platform in it right now. It's only a 4-year lease. They can still use it for Block 2. This got to orbit, and that got to the moon. Nice. High Bay 1 is a penthouse with ocean views. I'm really failing to understand why would NASA do this? This seems like they already have a buyer in mind. SpaceX seems like the only company in position to actually take advantage of this right now. Well, why wouldn't they use High Bay 2, someone? That's where I'm getting confused. I mean, you know how I feel about taking our National Space Program stuff and just pawning it off like that, but High Bay 2 has access. Like, I don't understand. What the hell's going on here? Which High Bay is SLS using? SLS is using High Bay number 3. What about bong integration? I don't know what? Shorter trip. Blue Origin, New Glenn. High Bay 2 is also a clean bay, which would be cheaper for commercial customers to modify. Thomas, we're missing something. This makes no sense, fellas. They already have a high bay that's ready to go. Why would they want to give the high bay out to... Why would they want to give the high bay out to, the high bay that they want to use for SLS? Why would they give it out? I don't understand. Thomas, this makes no sense. Why would you do this? Less work that NASA has to do? I don't know. I know it doesn't. Very confused. Yeah, I don't really understand myself. They could have leased Bay 2 in as-is conditions, so less work doesn't track. Yeah. Wolfpack, 57-month resub. Blues Pack, I don't think they would use it for New Glenn, no. I'm trying to piece together why you would do this, and I'm failing to understand. I'm failing to get it. Hey, Wolfpack, 57-month resub. Thank you very much. That's very strange. It's very strange. The delayed reaction is too funny. The concentration is real. Yeah, I don't know. Why this... There was some rumor about them leasing High Bay 2, Grab Shark, but why High Bay 1? I don't understand. That's always my question. What? Okay. All right. You guys tell me if I'm being stupid, okay? Just let me know. I think this is a really short-sighted and stupid idea. There, I said it. I think that's a really short-sighted and stupid idea because you're screwing SLS's future plans. Literally the plans that could get SLS to, not suck and not be super expensive. This could potentially interfere with it. Just like NASA giving 39A to SpaceX, basically screwed that all up. NASA now has one pad. They want to push this multi-user spaceport nonsense again. It's really kind of annoying, actually. I don't think this is right. But once again, I don't know. I don't know better than NASA. I get it. I understand. There must be some piece of information that isn't being given here. Maybe they're contracting. It's possible that they're contracting out SLS Block 1B high bay retooling. That's a possibility. But if a commercial customer comes up and snags this thing, you're going to have one high bay for SLS Block 1, and that's it. And retooling it would be an insane amount of downtime. And you're building a second mobile launcher. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. The program is fragmented all over the place. It's a 4-year lease, though. Unless Block 2 comes before 2026, NASA will get it back before then. Not 100% sure. Well, you bring up the 4-year lease, someone, and that's... You know what? It's possible that they're going to contract that high bay being retooled. Couldn't SLS use high bay 3? It already does, but the crappy version of the rocket that literally will get people to look at the moon and not actually land on it is the one is using that. Could it be conceivable that HLS Starship would be built and integrated in the high bay? No, I don't think so. Maybe they decided it would be easier to retool Bay 2 than Bay 1 for Block 2? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Toothless. Yeah, that's a possibility. That could be right. Interesting. Interesting.
Discovery.
Shinzi, 12-month resub. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a strange one, dudes. I'm not 100% sure. That's very peculiar. I also find again can't separate these environments into what. Yeah, I don't understand why they're doing that, but I'm not. Master blend. I love it. KSC master plan, yet they're showing Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Looks like I feel the need for speed. Yeah, that's right. Actually, technically, Slick 41 is on KSC property. Master plan. I don't know, man. You think that SpaceX is going to get it? New master plan. Confuse EJ. Yeah, they succeeded. I don't understand. This makes no sense. We're not being told... We're not being told what, why they're doing this. I'm very interested. No, we've talked about, fellas, we've talked about SpaceX using it for Starship, but I mean, does anybody here honestly think that if SpaceX does get a hold of it, that they're going to do stuff like that? I mean, this render from James Vaughn is pretty cool. I wish. See last pills. No, I'm good. Nah, I'm all set. No. I'm not doing that. I know what that is. I don't want to talk about that. I don't care. That has nothing to do with space. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think that High Bay 1, yeah. Isn't SpaceX building their own high bay? Yeah, down the street. This really... I don't know. Call it my opinion, dudes. NASA just need... All right, glasses are coming off for a second. Call it my opinion, and that's fine. And you'd probably be right. I'm probably wrong. But I honestly think that, NASA needs to stop beating around the bullet. You have very, very unique facilities. Very unique facilities that are designed for a unique purpose. Like sending people beyond low Earth orbit. You have the high bays, you have the launch pads, you have the transport system, and you even have the damn runway for a potentially reusable vehicle. You gotta stop kidding yourself. This is ridiculous. Stop kidding yourself that somebody else wants to do that except SpaceX. SpaceX is the only one that even wants to come close with that, unless there's something that we don't know, which could be possible. That's probably why this doesn't make any sense, because we're not being told everything just yet. But, yeah, that's very weird, man. I just don't understand why you do this. The VAB is not even it's not a clean room, Creeper, but yeah. Something about that doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Just bite the damn bullet and retool the other high bays for SLS, for frick's sake. It's almost like they're, like... Nah, you know what? I'm not going to say that. That's not right. It's really weird, man. Perhaps there's an endangered bird living in the other bay. That's not funny, man. I don't know. You have the VAB, you have this crazy facility, and you can build these crazy big rockets. Literally no one else in the world has that capability, and you just want to sell it off to commercial? Like... I don't get it. Your LS Swap oil pan just came in today after being on back order for the past year. Nice, nice. It's cleaner than the open high bays they are building at Roberts Road. Creeper, do you just like saying things, or you like making stuff up? Because that's not true at all. The VAB is not a clean room environment. I will say it again. It's not a clean room environment. There's no climate control systems. If anything, it would be equal to. So, try again. Try again. Try again. Stop guessing. That's not a clean room environment, dude. It's not. If anything, it's equal to the one that they're building down the street. So... let's keep going. Like, why would you, if it's equivalent to the one that building down the street, why would you even offer this solicitation? SpaceX is blatantly the only one that would even want this. I don't think Blue Origin would want that. That doesn't make any sense unless Blue Origin's building a rocket that we don't know about. It's possible. It's very strange. Could this potentially be NASA biting the bullet and leasing one of their high bays to accelerate HLS progress? Why wouldn't you lease two, someone? Until I figure out what's going on, dude, I don't like this. I don't think this is a good idea. I really don't. I would be interested if anybody thinks the same way here. I mean, they could be doing New Armstrong if we really want to humor that plan. I suppose that's a possibility. Let's see. Is there any response to this? Yeah, there's Bauxy. I wish. Not feasible! Oh, yes, the university student. Yes. Interesting. Anybody talking to my thread over here? Yeah, see? Yeah, no, this makes no sense. I don't understand. I don't understand why they do that. That's very strange. I heard you, but do the doors not offer more control for keeping dust and such out? No. No, they don't. It's dirty inside of the VAB, dude. They did say this move was to test the waters, which might be the reason for the weirdness. Yeah. But Blue, that still begs the question. Also in that solicitation, it basically said that, oh, we looked into the feasibility of renting out High Bay 2, and we don't want to do that. So we'll rent out High Bay 1, which is literally a mirror image of the same exact thing. That's very strange. Unless, I mean, I suppose another thing would be, I guess, maybe SpaceX wants both of them. I don't know why. Actually, Creeper, hold on. Hold on. Creep. Now, here's the thing. The VAB is not a clean room environment. But, Creeper, if you're saying, like, make a clean room inside of the VAB, then I misunderstood you, and you might be right in that regard. They did do that during the Apollo program. Here, I'll show you. The Apollo program had many clean rooms in it, and they could come together. Here, look at this picture of S2 integration. See what I'm talking about? This whole freaking thing slides out, and it becomes a clean room environment. And this is literally a building that's on rails, and two of them come together. And you could tell that it seals because there's a rubber seal around the edge. That can become a clean room environment. Now, SpaceX could do that, but that would mean that Starship would need to be on a mobile launcher. Look at those dudes down there. This would only make sense to do if you were going to do like a mobile launcher or something. You'd have to build a clean room inside of a high bay, which is kind of yeah, I mean, Creeper, I guess that's doable now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. But the VAB itself is not a clean room. That's what I thought you were saying. If that's what you're saying, yeah, no, you can't do that. You'd have to build a clean room inside of the VAB. Are all high bays currently accessible to 39A or B? They have a notional pad that's north of 39B, Kilpon, that they want to, that they're looking to build out there, but I don't know. It's very weird. No, I was thinking it was already to an extent a clean room, but yeah, the general idea is to use it for clean room payload integration. That makes sense. Yeah, you'd have to, but like I said, yeah, you'd have to build a clean room inside of the VAB, and that's totally doable. Here. Yeah, see him? See him up there? There's multiple clean rooms. That's how Apollo did it. A third pad for Blue Origin, which allows NASA to rent another high bay to Blue. I don't know, man. I don't know. That solicitation makes no sense. Huh. Does ULA need another pad? No, Sumo, not that I know of. Does Northrop Grumman even have the contracts to justify a second pad? Or New Glenn? Yeah, that makes no sense. Is it possible that they're doing this because they found it's cheaper to retool High Bay 2 than it is to retool High Bay 1? If it's cheaper to retool High Bay 2 than it is to retool High Bay 1, why did they take High Bay 2 off the market? Are you talking about for SLS? Yeah, maybe. That's a possibility. Maybe that's what they figured out. That does make sense, and that doesn't change anything. Very, very, very weird. Sooner or later, it might make sense. Here, let's see if we can find like an updated picture. So NASA VAB High Bay 2. You type High Bay 2 and it literally only shows pictures of High Bay 3. Okay. That's 3. Also 3. That's the transfer aisle. What is this picture? Is there a crane on the ceiling? There's 2 cranes on the ceilings, dude. Sun Temple, there's 2 cranes that go this way. There's one here that goes from High Bay 3 to High Bay 4. And then there's one that goes from High Bay 1 to High Bay 2. 2 big freaking gantry cranes. Oh, look, a clean room. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is from, though. I don't know if that's from... This looks like it might be for leftover from the shuttle program. Maybe NASA's unconfident in the budgets in the future, so they went for the cheaper option of retooling High Bay 2 and putting High Bay 1 on the market instead. That sounds like that's what this is, someone. That's the most logical explanation, I think. Huh. Which high bay doesn't have the crawler road leading to it? High Bay 4. Kill pun. Yeah, that's where they store SRBs. High Bay 4 never had a...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Casper, gifted us up to Slump SG. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's very strange, man. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see what's going on. Alright, so let me see what else is going on here, speaking of that. We did have a Starlink launch this morning. Let me find it. There we go. All right. So, this was a launch that happened right basically at the start of the stream. Let's get to it.
T-minus 15 seconds.
I'm going to give you the condensed version, but it was a great launch, fully successful from what I understand.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Yeah! Yeah!
MLD chamber pressure phenomenal.
Interesting. All right, man.
Vehicle is pitching down range.
We got a shot like that.
Max Q.
Awesome. Now that Max Q is behind us, we are throttling the engines back up to full power.
So,
coming up.
Let's just get to the good stuff. Let's just get to the good stuff. Watch this.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
So our landing burn has begun. It's a single engine burn. This is also the period where we'll deploy our landing legs. And here comes our first stage for the 13th time attempting to land on our drone ship.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Oh.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Uncut.
And X marks the spot for the 13th time. That is the first time that we have flown and landed a booster 13 times.
Cool. Look at that. We had uninterrupted footage all the way down. It was pretty cool. Here, check it out again. Starlink brightness is still an issue for astronomers after they removed the visors on 1.5. Oof. I think Elon said that the video is thanks to Starlink providing the feeds. Not bad. The rocket's cool, but the payload sucks. Yep. Yep. Oh, that's gnarly. That's really cool. Yeah, Demon, right? Buttery biscuit footage base. Yeah, the shadow on the cloud was my favorite part. Check this out. Watch the cloud over here on the left. You can see the booster's shadow being cast on the clouds. Ready? Right about here. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, man. What the frick? Dude. Oh, man. They're copying my rocket. Yep, that's what's going on. They're copying my rocket. Yeah. Do they measure any loss of efficiency in those engines? Are they performing the same as the new ones? Did those engines make the 13 flights? Yes, they did. There's not a loss in efficiency because it landed Nagwal, but all the data is monitored. SpaceX basically, every time a Falcon launches, they check the data against every other Falcon flight. It's actually really, really interesting stuff. Space News yawns, baby.
Discovery.
Does landing legs look like they're pitched up at a higher angle? Let me take a look. Yeah, it looks right to me, dude. Hey, Bird Dog, 44-month resub. Thank you very much. Oh, that's so freaking cool. So, this was the Starlink launch from this morning, but if you missed it, well, you got another opportunity tomorrow. In fact, you have 2 opportunities tomorrow. SpaceX is launching 3 rockets, and that was the first one, over the course of 48 hours. They're launching the next one, which is Sarah 1 right here, at 9:50 tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow is going to be a super, super long stream. That's going to be a really long one. That's right, boom, yep. Tomorrow's going to be a very, very long stream. What's the second launch? The second launch is Globalstar FM-15, launching from Slick 40 at 12:30. Plus Canadian GP qualifying. Oh, boy. So, I say tomorrow, Adam, because, yeah, tomorrow, 12:30 on Sunday morning is still Saturday for me. Because, yeah, my hours are different. That's Sunday, not Saturday. Yes, I know. I can tell time, I swear. I swear. 12:30 a.m. Yeah. It's midnight. So, I will be here for that. We'll be here for both of those launches and everything in between. It should be fun. I didn't see the AM part. It's all good. It's all good. No problem, dude. Okay. Ooh, we got some good space news, Jans. Sweet. All right. Let's see. I'm looking around. Was that a yawn? Sure. The news cycle is a little bit slow today. When's the next Hunt the Streamer, by the way? Hunt the Streamer is off the table right now indefinitely. We are, however, going to prototype, well, not prototype, it's not really prototyping at all. We're going to bring GTA Racing back online tomorrow. Yeah, that should be fun. So we're gonna try to put it back online. We're gonna see if the script kiddies have calmed down. So Stationeers before Friday Night Racing? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Geek, we are. You were here. You were there when we talked about this. Maybe you fell asleep or something. I don't know. Yeah, no Hackermans, hopefully. Exactly. So Hunt the Streamer's off the table indefinitely for a little while, dudes. That's all. I was not there last week. Oh. Well, that explains that. Yeah, we're gonna bring it back online. Let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, if this rolls out, maybe we'll find another time to do a Hunt the Streamer. But yeah, no Hunt the Streamer is on the table right now. It's pretty much postponed indefinitely. All right. Yeah, other than that, fellas, I'm not sure that the space news is actually too much today. We could go see what's going on in Boca Chica, though. I think unless anybody else wants to talk about something, Elon Musk. What is this, T-Man? There will probably be several launch countdowns before we pass all abort. Wait, what is this? Hold on. What is the context of this? I don't understand. Let me read more. There's Starship stuff to go over. Yep. You went quiet and I thought I accidentally muted the stream. No. I'm still good. Yeah. Yeah, no. It's just, yeah, we don't really have much in the news cycle today. This is, John Carmack and Elon are talking. John Carmack's cool. He's the guy that invented Doom. We're adding 40 billion tons of CO2 a year to the atmosphere, so even the air-moving capabilities of every air conditioner system in the world with magical capture efficiency wouldn't put a dent in that. Did I drop a decimal point anywhere? You can imagine air-moving equipment at much larger scales, but it would still require dramatic scaling up of the clean electricity production capability of the world to use them. Yes, but it's achievable. And then Tesla owner. Any dates on the orbital launch for Starship? Trying to make it out with the fam if possible. Elon says there will probably be several launch countdowns before we pass all the abort triggers, but hopefully the first countdown is next month. See? Mid-July, dudes. Mid-July. Heck yeah, man. RGV has a few new pictures up. Cool. Right when you move. T-Man, stop saying that. You're gonna jinx me, dude. Alright, let's go see what's going on down at NASA Spaceflight. Let's take a look. We have first tower section rollout. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got. This footage is coming from Mary Boca Chica Gal here. And let's see what's on the docket for today. I mean, these are high bays, mid bay, high bay, and wide bay. I already jinxed it. How dare you? How dare you? Okay. Dude, I thought that said satisfactory for a second. I was like, wait, what? It says Star Factory. So SpaceX is building a more permanent structure for manufacturing starships here other than those pop-up tents that they have. I was like, just about I double-taked. I was like, what? Do what? Burb. Bulldozer. Backhoe. You mean Wide Peepo Bay? Yeah. Wide Peepo Bay, excuse me. They could bring that to Michigan. The jobs would be nice. Yeah, they could, man. But you got to move these things around. That's the problem. How are you gonna move one from Michigan? Are you gonna move it down the Detroit River? I mean, I suppose you could. Can it get out the St. Lawrence Seaway, and then out and around all the way down the Atlantic? There's Ship 24 there. I think the E-Dome has the same volume as the normal design. Foz, I actually think it might have more. Yeah. I think it's interesting with the Cape site. There's only one high bay from the renders I've seen. I'm not sure. Well, there's an opportunity to expand one, T-Man, yeah. Hey, Biceped. How are you? NASA was looking at an old base in Michigan, but I don't know how our weather compares to elsewhere. Adam, you could do polar launches out of Michigan. I know what you're talking about. They were talking about launching from the UP, if I'm remembering right. Adam, I don't know if you know me too well. My fiance is from Detroit, or Dearborn more specifically, so I know Michigan pretty well. They were launching from the UP. Yeah, it's an old Air Force base up there or something. They would launch north, out over Canada for polar launches, but Canada is a little bit close to do something like that. Ship 24, what happened to the other 23? So if you want to go down the list, if you want me to go down the list while we're here, SN1 got scrapped, SN2 got scrapped, SN3 was a test article, that also got scrapped, SN4 blew up on the pad, SN5 hopped, then was scrapped, SN6 hopped, then was scrapped, 7 was a test tank, 8 flew and then crashed, 9 flew and then crashed, 10 flew, landed, and then blew up, 11 blew up in the air, 12, 13, 14 were scrapped, 15 flew and landed, 16 was built, never flown, scrapped, 17, 18, and 19 were all scrapped in various stages of construction. 20 was built, but the design changed, so it's sitting in the rocket garden. 21 was built, the design changed, so it's also sitting right next to it in the rocket garden, and it's made out of spare parts. 22 was scrapped, 23 was scrapped. Actually, they used parts of 21 and 22 to make one complete Starship, and then they put it in the rocket garden right after that. 23 was scrapped, and 24 is the one that they're working on right now. I think that's all of it. I think that was off the top of my head. I think I got all of them. You forgot the one that fell over to the swamp. That was scrapped. That burned down, fell over, then fell into the swamp. The fourth one, lad, that stayed up. One day, son, this will be all of yours. Oh, with the curtains. No, not the curtains. Which one is going to space? Jim, I think it's going to be 24. Yeah. I think the one that we were just looking at. I think that one's going. That one. It has the Starlink payload dispenser. What's the fastest you got the Pelican going? I got it to like 450 knots RB at high altitude. The highest reported speed I've heard anybody go is 500 before it breaks because... Alright. I like it when I can be a Wikipedia for something. Well, Adam, that's my meal ticket here, dude. You want to ask a question about space shuttles? Saturn V's? I can tell you where all the remaining Saturn V's are. I can tell you the serial numbers on the stages because I'm a weirdo and I like this stuff way too freaking much. You know, like, gonna go help with dinner. All right, bud. All right. Someone say meal ticket? I'm hungry. The fourth one. That stayed up, lad. Why don't you like her? What's wrong with her? She's rich. She's got huge tracts of land. Hokey with the 5 subs. They said you couldn't sub to this stream, but Hokey subbed anyway with 1 sub. Then that sub ran out. But the second one, that sub also ran out. But the third one, that burned down, fell over, and then the sub fell out. But the 4th sub and the 5th one, lads, those people stayed subbed. Ha 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 ha! But Father, I don't want people subbing to my stream. I don't want to. How far has the Dart rocket gone so far? The Dart rocket? What do you mean? This thing? Starship? SN-15 was the highest flight. That one flew to 40,000 feet, came down and landed, which was pretty rad. What about the 1173rd one? Well, that one's good. It's got huge tracts of land. I just want to sing. No. You're not breaking out in a song over here. How do our spaceships compare to other countries like China, Russia, and so on? Okay, so, okay, something to learn about engineering, and I don't mean to kind of change the subject of the question here, but something to learn about engineering and something to learn about, you know, like, oh, is this spacecraft better than this spacecraft? Engineering is about criteria, okay? Building a spaceship is about criteria. So let's take the Russian Soyuz capsule. Soyuz flies up into space, can dock to the space station, and come back down. Dragon on Falcon 9 flies up to the space station, docks to the space station, and then can come back down. They both do the same thing. So which capsule is better? I don't know. I would probably say that Dragon is better because Dragon was designed in this century, not 70 years ago when Soyuz, well, not 70, 50 years ago when Soyuz was designed. The Russians have been using the same spacecraft for a half century. All right. How much for the bits? The little bits. Sell them to me. Sell me your bits. So, Devil, thanks for doing this face thing. A little something for the house fund. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, Smith, like, how does a spaceship compare? It depends on what the goal was set out for that spacecraft to do. Dragon and Soyuz are arguably comparable. Which one is a better spacecraft? I think Dragon seems like a much more comfortable ride than Soyuz. Soyuz is like literally a porta potty that 3 people get into and fly into space. Like, the amount of habitable volume inside of Soyuz's capsule is about the same as like a handicapped porta potty. Yeah, there's not a lot of space in there. I can show you. Check this out. And the thing is that it's not to say that it's a bad capsule. It really isn't. Soyuz is great at what it does. But yeah, here. You want to see? Want to see what I'm talking about? You want to ride into space in that? That guy looks like the Kappa face. I mean, accomplish the same task with a smaller budget? That's the next thing that I was gonna say, dude. Soyuz is the cheapest way to get into orbit by a long shot. It's probably even cheaper now. It's probably more expensive, but also cheaper right now. Soyuz is on par. Yeah, no. It's kind of in a league of its own because that design is so well understood. Soyuz capsules are. It might not be the roomiest way to get into space, but it definitely is the cheapest way to get on orbit. The cheapest way to get into space is Blue Origin, which can range anywhere from a couple 100,000 to a couple million, depending. It's contractual, so it really depends. That looks horrible. Yeah. So, I don't know. Who has the best spacecraft? I'd say that the U.S. makes more spacecraft than anybody else. We have Starliner. We have Dragon right now. We had the Space Shuttle, which is a pretty cool spacecraft. That doesn't fly anymore. That's my personal favorite. There's the Orion capsule. There's Dream Chaser. Whatever Blue Origin wants to cook up. There's a bunch of stuff. Being able to use a capsule for so long, does it mean it was designed well? Soyuz is a great design, Ken. Yeah, it was really good. The Russians using the Soyuz capsule would be like the U.S. still using the Apollo capsule. The Apollo capsule was a damn good design. We could definitely get away with still using that today. That would be really cool. To continue this topic, which is the safest way to go to space? Do you want statistically or what I think? Statistically, probably, well, Dragon. I mean, everyone that's launched on a Dragon has gotten into space. Soyuz is probably behind that. And the shuttle is probably the worst, statistically the worst way to get into space. However, the shuttle, more people have gotten hurt with the shuttle than any other spacecraft by a long shot. However, the shuttle's also moved more people than anything else into space. Easily. If you take every other capsule launch, including U.S. capsules, so the Mercury, the Gemini program, Soyuz, everything, the shuttle has still moved more people into space. 10 years after it's gone, you can move 7 people up with the shuttle. 7 people. That's a lot. that's a lot of people. And they did that basically, NASA basically was flying 7-person crews for, well, shoot, basically from 1983 all the way to like 2010. I mean, with some gap years, etc., etc. There were some missions that didn't have 7 crew, but the shuttle still moved more people to space than anyone. Yeah, the shuttle could move up to 8. It could. If it was launching a light payload, you could move 8 people. Yep. Soyuz has a more well-proven abort system, for better or for worse. Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, Hey, Roundabout, what's going on? You could put a truck in the cargo, but you could put a school bus in there. I personally think the shuttle is, everybody says, oh, the shuttle is a bad way to get into space. It's killed more people than any other capsule, or than any capsule or anything else. Yeah, it's also moved more people. Statistically, though, it's like, I think it was like a 1 in 70 probability of loss of crew or something. And Dragon is like was engineered to like 1 in 270, which personally I think calculating loss of crew for your spacecraft design is a really crappy way to do that. I don't really think engineering a capsule with the expectation that it's going to kill people is a smart way to engineer things. But I'm not an engineer. Risk aversion is a whole quantitative study about when you should say send it and when you shouldn't. So I don't know the most about that, but yeah. Agreed. Wrong statistic to work towards because ultimately you can't falsify the result. I mean, I'm not sure where you're taking that, Signer, but yeah, I mean, so, I don't know. Statistically, I would say that Dragon is probably the best, but the shuttle and Soyuz have moved way more people into Dragon. And then, God forbid, I would never want anybody to get hurt on Dragon or Starliner for that matter. That would be catastrophically bad. Knock on wood. Soyuz and the shuttle have killed way more people. Soyuz has killed, I think, 4 people. Soyuz 11 and Soyuz 1. Soyuz 11 depressurized during re-entry, so that ended well. And Soyuz 1 was just a death trap. Yeah. Not good. A death trap is the right way to say that. Let's just say that after Soyuz 1, there were some pretty significant redesigns. Yeah, Kamarov. He knew, which is annoying. But, yeah, I don't know, Bicebet, in terms of like who has the best spacecraft, personal opinion, this is very much personal opinion, I think Dragon is the best spacecraft flying today. Starliner's probably in a close second. You know why? Because they've been to space. Yeah, those 2 capsules have actually flown. And then Soyuz right behind that. I actually would probably put Soyuz right now ahead of Starliner because Soyuz has moved people into space. And then there's the Chinese capsule, which is Shenzhou, I think is what it's called. It's a Soyuz-derived capsule, so it's similar to a Soyuz capsule, but it's not. It's a Chinese-built, like license-built, highly modified Soyuz, something like that. That's a pretty good spacecraft. It's moved people into space. It's moving people into space right now. A crew launched the other day, if I'm remembering right, up to China's Tiangong 2 space station. But I'm probably not pronouncing any of that right. What about Starship when it is ready for crew and passengers? Starship will be the trump card. Absolutely. Starship will just wreck everything else with what it's planned on, what it plans to do. I mean, personally, I wouldn't count Starship in right now, Architect, but when that thing goes, I will gladly fly on it if given the opportunity. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Sure. Game over. In terms of in the past, what I think is the best launch vehicle, I still like the shuttle. I think the shuttle was god tier in terms of spacecraft design. The shuttle is like flying around in a Cadillac, baby. Or, well, that analogy doesn't really work for the European viewers. It's like flying around in a Maybach. All right, let me put it that way. Maybach S550, you know what I'm talking about? The shuttle is that. It's funny because it's supposed to be a space truck, right? It's supposed to be a semi-truck. But, the space shuttle was amazing compared to a capsule. It's because the shuttle can do so much more. You can do so much more things on orbit. Like, I don't know, go outside? Yeah, you can't do that with Dragon yet. You definitely can't do that with Starliner, and you cannot do that with Orion, to my knowledge. You probably could be able to do it with both of those capsules, but the shuttle had a dedicated airlock system built into it from the start. It also can build space stations. That's pretty neat. The space stations that the other capsules go to. And, it can launch a school bus into space with 7 people aboard. But also, if it needs to, it can bring that school bus back down. Yeah. So, every planned crew launch vehicle is de facto theoretically safer than the ones that have actually flown because we haven't thought out the design completely, so we have incomplete data. Signer, the whole thing that I'm trying to explain to Biceped is that it's a hard construct to understand. But, I don't know. Soyuz is a great spacecraft. I would absolutely fly on one. I don't know too much about the Chinese version of that, the Shenzhou, I think is what it's called. I don't know too much about it, so I'd have to look at it. I mean, I'm sure it's okay, because it's Soyuz derived, and Soyuz is a fantastic design. I would fly on the space shuttle if it was still flying. Yes, absolutely, sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely Dragon. Yeah, no brainer. And then Starliner too. Yeah. Orion as well. I mean, they're all good, man. This stuff's hard to do. So, I don't know which one is objectively better. I mean, yeah, I don't know which one is objectively better, but I mean, if I had the choice to fly on any spacecraft at all on a mission, it would either be a shuttle flight or it would be an Apollo mission to the moon. Because, yeah, the Apollo CSM was great capsule. But the safety of that capsule was, the safety rules for that capsule was kind of written in blood as well. How about Gemini? Gemini's a good capsule. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Blue, you ever notice that the Gemini capsule had no abort system? They had ejection seats that only worked for maybe the first 40 minutes, and then that was the end of that. Is America the only country that's trying to reach Mars? Sorry. China has plans. Russia has plans too. But the U.S., as far as I know, is the only one that's trying to actually do it. The thing is about going to the moon and Mars is that, well, you need a big freaking rocket. You need a big one. And the U.S. is the only people that I've seen with big rockets. Like this one. And that one over there. So, I think the other countries have plans to do it, but they can't match the pace that we can. But, who knows? Anyway, let's get back into the Starbase footage. Good questions, dudes. How do you compare SLS with the other countries? Well, how will I compare it? Well, the other countries don't have a rocket and we do. So, yeah, it's not comparable right now. to be candid, I suppose. Mantis. It was their 100th, Foz. Yeah, the Starlink mission today was the 100th landing for a Falcon 9 first stage. Can you believe that? Since December of 2015, December 22nd, 2015, they've landed 100 Falcons. That's 100 Falcon rockets in basically 6 years. 6.5 years. That's absurd. Those numbers are unmatched. Falcon 9 is like god tier for like low Earth orbit commercial access. I mean, I still think that the shuttle is better, but I grew up with the shuttle, so there might be some nostalgia tinting my, I was screwing with my judgment. I still think the shuttle was cooler, but Falcon 9 is damn good. 100 and, no, not, it's non-consecutive, Geek. 100 total, non-consecutive. I think they're, well, what was the last one that didn't land? I think that was the one that had the M1D failure during SSRP and blew itself up. That was in 2021, if I'm remembering right. So, Geek, what happened is the, so the engines pivot around, right? The engine's gimbal, like that. But they have a boot, similar to like a CV boot on a CV joint. It's literally that. It's the same thing almost. It's just a flexible fabric, right? So when the engine pivots around inside of its housing like that, no plasma or heat or anything gets up to the engine components, right? So it has this kind of thermal fabric boot, and it ripped. It ripped on the way up, so when the booster came in, heat went up there and fried the electronics on one of the motors, and that was the end of that. So far, we haven't failed a landing this year, knock on wood. I think a lot will change when Starship makes it into orbit. Yeah, I agree. I think Starship will vindicate the space shuttle. Personally, even today, I see people say, "Oh, the shuttle's a piece of junk." Blah 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 blah. The more and more I read about the shuttle program, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with the shuttle's design. There's probably things that I would change, like if we would remake it today, me and my armchair engineering, right? I think the shuttle program was managed poorly. Yeah, managed and funded very poorly. The whole circumstances for which the shuttle program was implemented was basically an afterthought, which sucks. And because that system is damn good. I will say this once, I'll say it again, fellas, for the people that don't know. Go look at NASA's funding. You just type NASA funding over time, right? Type it into Google. Moon 2 typers. Moon 2 typers. Type it into Google and look at the funding charts. If you look at that, right, and you see that it peaks in like 1966 and then starts going down, that's because the reason why it got so high during 1966, 67, and 68 is because NASA was starting the Apollo program and running the Gemini program at the exact same time. Okay? If you look at Apollo funding, so funding for Apollo in general versus NASA funding, right? You'd see that from like 1961 to 1966, most of that funding is the Gemini program. And then if you look at 1972, when the shuttle started, to 1981, after you adjust for inflation over those years, NASA, it's really easy to spot that NASA developed the freaking space shuttle for the budget of the Gemini program. So think about that for a second. The Gemini program was NASA making a capsule, right? And then using surplus ICBMs. They literally took an ICBM and put a capsule on top of it, put a spacecraft on top of it. Now, granted, the reason why the Gemini program was a little bit more expensive is because they were trying new things for the first time. The Gemini program did insane stuff in space. NASA was quite literally playing KSP up there. They did some nutty stuff. But they learned how to do like rendezvous, they learned how to do EVAs, they learned how to do a bunch of stuff. And then you fast forward to the shuttle, and the shuttle was developed on literally the same budget. That's ridiculous to me. How did the shuttle even fly? The shuttle is a brand new, ground up design, reusable orbiter. Like that is ridiculous. That is so far of a deviation from the Gemini program. It's unbelievable. But they did. NASA developed the shuttle with the budget of the Gemini program. That's ridiculous to me. And that's what I mean about project management. The shuttle was a great idea. I still think it's a great idea to this day. I still think that design is great. You know why? Because there's really not many ways that you could do it easier without overcoming some insane engineering problems. Right? Shuttle's it's a great design. I really think it is. And don't get me wrong. Like, how do you know? You're just some dumb Twitch streamer. Yeah, I've read the shuttle operations manual for fun because I'm a loser. There's nothing. I'm not even going to disclose that one. It's like a 1,000-page manual. Now, keep in mind, I haven't read it in a little while, but I read it in like 2013, so that information might as well be gone. But I know a good deal about that vehicle and how it runs. I don't think it's inherently a bad design. I think it was managed very poorly. But that's not even a reflection of NASA. It was managed poorly because they didn't have the money to manage it right. Like, that's the honest truth, you know? Can you read it for us? You want me to read the shuttle operations map? I'm not doing that, Nomad. No. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? No, go read it yourself. No, I think that Starship is, going back to what I was talking about, I think that Starship is going to vindicate the shuttle program. Because I remember this. When the shuttle went out and we went back to using capsules, everyone was like, oh, the reusability doesn't make sense, blah, 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 reusability, no, we should go back to using capsules. And I thought at the time, and I couldn't say why, I thought at the time, like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We're going to go back to the way we were doing things 50 years ago? What? Really? Really? Is that what we're doing, really? Come on now. But it turns out that it's more a management problem than anything, and that's kind of how commercial companies like SpaceX got championed, because people were sick of the management problems. It's true, right? And that makes sense in that regard. I get it. I mean, I still think we sacked our own space program on the altar of commercialization, but hey, whatever. It doesn't hurt at all. I'm not coping and seething, I swear. Right? But I do think Starship will show that full reusability is the right thing to do. That's the right way to go. This thing is a much better, well-implemented version of that. And now, like I said, there's not many better ways to do what this thing does. But the ways that are theoretically better are very, very expensive. And they would require billions of dollars of research and development to get it done right. But also... Wait, where's the other one?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. Where's Wario? Edelweiss, 7-month resub. Thank you very much. Daddy, read me a bedtime story. Okay, let me go get the shuttle manual, son. I'd do it. Every night before the end of the stream, EJ reads a chat chapter of the shuttle menu as a bedtime story. Oh, gosh. Hubble Telescope likes the shuttle program. Yeah, you ain't kidding. But yeah, I think that Starship will show that reusability was the right way. That's why I say it's going to vindicate the shuttle, because it left a really bad taste in my mouth 12 years ago, or 11 years ago now, when they canceled the shuttle program and everybody badmouthed the shuttle as a death trap. That really pissed me off, dude. I take this stuff way too seriously, man. All right, let's go. What is an anti-normal burn? D-Man, an anti-normal burn is a out-of-phase plane change on the anti-normal trajectory. You just asked me what does a going east burn do? Well, it is a out-of-orbit plane change that makes you go east. Normal is one of the 6 kind of... anti-normal is one of the 6... kind of vectors, I guess, to change different characteristics of your orbit. You have forward, relative to the way the spacecraft is going. So if you're orbiting and going that way, right, that's forward. So that's prograde. Behind you is retrograde. If you're in a prograde orbit, you have radial in, which means you're pointing towards the planet and burning. Then opposite of that is radial out. And then you have normal and anti-normal. So normal and anti-normal are what's called an out-of-orbit plane change. An out-of-orbit plane change means you're turning and burning in a direction that is not prograde or retrograde. Out-of-orbit plane changes on the normal vector, so normal and anti-normal, will change inclination. They'll change your inclination. Radial in and radial out change your argument of perigee and right angle of ascending node. Okay? Prograde and retrograde will increase eccentricity or decrease it. Or they'll decrease eccentricity to the point when it's zero. So also prograde and retrograde will change your semi-major axis. So your SMA. Your semi-major axis is basically the distance between the center of the planet and your apogee. Okay? Or apoapsis, right? The highest point in your orbit. Your semi-minor axis is the distance between the center of the celestial body that you're orbiting around. So if we're orbiting around Earth, it would be the distance between the center of the Earth and your perigee. Which way is nominal? Yes. Supersonic retrograde burn. Hypersonic retrograde burn, man. So anti-normal, to answer your question, is one of the different ways that you can burn a spacecraft to change some orbital variables, to change your orbit, particularly changing inclination. Anyway, we'll jump back over here. Ship aft dome sleeve moved outside. No garbage. Can't you read the signs? No garbage! That's ship 27. Cool. Ooh, Savage floating. Damn. Ram. That's a sleeve that they use. That thing with these things on it, with all the spiky bits on it. That thing is actually used. They slip it over the ring, and then they use it to clamp it, and then they can move the ring around. Now, in terms of what's in here, I have no idea. Well, we're about to see, actually. Nice, Sun Temple. I have to choose a ship. If I have to choose a ship to ride on, I would choose NCC 1701. Oh, I mean, that's fine if you like flying on hopes and dreams, bro. That ship don't exist. Except in science fiction. Sorry. Did you guys know that that's a Buckner heavy lift crane? I don't know if you knew that. How about that? Isn't that cool? That's the back of a starship right there. You could tell it's a heavy lift crane because of the way it is. Well, I think that transit van might have a little bit of high power in it. All rockets are built from hopes and dreams. Yeah, I guess you ain't wrong. That's the bottom of a starship right there. Yeah, that's the one they were moving. Chappy. Transformers. Are you Samuel James Witwicky? descendant of Archibald Witwicky. Are you Ladies Man 217? Dave. Dave, you here? What are we looking at? So, I mean, obviously they're Transformers, right? Big boy Transformers? What do you think? I don't see any labeling on it or anything, so I don't think we can figure out exactly what it's for. But do you know Autobots roll out? Do you know what we're looking at here? Dave's not here, man. No, Dave is here. He's right there. Can't you read? What are you putting in that crack pipe? Hey, geek, you want to come inside for some tea and some hot cocoa? Sorry. Suddenly bad boys? They're missing the danger high voltage. We got to call OSHA. It might be a 480 volt at 400 to 600 amps. Yeah, well, see, they got a lot of... See that cooling vane right there? You can always tell if it's going to be... What is it? Okay, Dave, if I say this wrong, please call me an idiot. I'm asking you. If you see more cooling, that means you're handling more amps, right? Because Ice Cube's got more amps. Get in, chat. All right, cool. Yeah? All right, excellent. Sorry, that's a great song. Yeah, because so
Discovery, go at throttle.
Keeson with the 10 subs. Do you really like my singing that much? Jeez. So they are out of Compton. Straight out of Compton. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. Actually, this probably won't show up great to chat, but I wanted to show it to you.
Primo's here. Yo! Speaking of straight out of Compton. Yo!
It's a little bit bigger than I intended it to be, but it'll work good at the auto show.
Nice. 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 It's a board that shows the freaking truck. The Route 154 trip.
See, I even got the little bit where his wheels are off, and
Why
then...
did you include that? Why did you include that part? Oh, that's cool. That's awesome,
Ernok's in
sweetheart.
it.
What's that?
Ernok's in it, because I did the...
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's all. I just wanted
Nice.
to
Nice. It had to be included. It's part of the story. You're part of the story. Anyway, that's cool, sweetheart.
Alright, that's all. I'm going to leave it in here, but... I just wanted to show it to you.
You're leaving it in here?
Yeah.
Why?
Where else would it go?
Because it would go to your mom's house. You can leave it here. Okay. Got him. EJ proposes and the wheel disposes. Well, you made Primo laugh floating, so we're off the hook. In the new garage. That's right. That is where it's going. I need background. Biceped. Okay, so Route 154 background real quick in the middle of Starship news. Brimo and I bought an old truck from a company called Hoonigan. Where's my Hoonigan sticker? It's somewhere around. Hoonigan, they have a YouTube channel. I know them. I know them through Twitch because a lot of those guys stream on Twitch. And I bought a vehicle from them that was on their YouTube channel that was thrashed on. And I bought it from them and I streamed fixing it in their parking lot. And then we drove it, I think cumulatively 4,000 miles. Because Hoonigan is in Compton, California. Straight out of Compton. And I drove it back to Boston. Yeah, it's 4,000 miles. I've driven that truck across an entire continent. And we streamed most of it. There were some parts we couldn't stream because reception and stuff. But Ken Block Hoonigan. Yes, Warline. Yeah. Yeah, I built it in their parking lot. If you follow Hoonigan on YouTube, they did a show. They did like a syndicated show called Scumbag Labs in 2018. The F2 Snotty. I can't say the name. Yeah, I bought that truck. That truck is sitting in my buddy's construction yard. Yeah, I bought it from them. They used it to do plywood wheel burnouts on their YouTube channel. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I bought that. I fixed it. I dehooned it, and we drove it home. The F2 Shifty. F2 Shifty. I learned about the show For All Mankind on Apple Plus. Have you heard of it? Yeah, of course. I thought it looked familiar. Yeah. It was the F2 Shifty. So it's cool. It's a 97 F250 with a 5.8. It's got a 351 Windsor in it and a 5-speed. It's a ZF 547 5-speed. It's a manual F250, which is cool. Yeah, that thing made it all the way across the country and across the entire damn continent. Because yeah, it made it all the way across. No problems from the engine. Something went wrong with the left rear hub and the wheel fell off in Oklahoma. That was fun. But it made it. It made it. It's a cool truck. I have it. I still drive it around. Yep. Did it pass Massachusetts inspection? After I fixed a couple of things, Jim. Yeah. Yeah, Barkwell. The fact that thing gave us no engine problems, no transmission problems, nothing. And the diff unwelded itself. Yeah, it repaired itself. If this truck's a rockin', check for a missing tire. Oh, that's clever. Yeah. So, yeah, Biceped, that was Route 154. So, there's an auto show on the 26th that's local to me. Actually, it's a little ways out of the city, but whatever. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to go. Yeah. Nobody will probably recognize me. And if somebody wants to go, it's, what is it? Medfield on the Charles is what it's called. Yeah, it's in a town called Medfield, and the place where it is next to the Charles River. I know, it's a great name. I know. I'm going to be taking Tough Enough to that. So if you want to see the truck and you want to see that poster that we just showed, yeah, we'll be there. Busy next week. Next week is going to suck.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah. Karma, 63-month resub. You saw an F250, 97 or 98 for sale down the road. Nice, dude. They're great trucks, man. I mean, that truck has when we started, it had 168,000 miles on it. 168,000 miles. The truck was beaten to snot by freaking... I mean, Hoonigan didn't actually beat on it too much. They actually took pretty good care of it. Dude, the engine took it like a champion. It's ridiculous. RCR might be there? Really? Why would they go there? That's a local show. Why would he go there? I mean, I'm not going to complain if he is. That'd be pretty cool. Meet that guy. Well, when it's on its last leg, submit for the Alaska 4th of July send-off. I'm not getting rid of that truck, Uber Monkey. No. I'm going to fix it, and we're going to make it better over time. The reason is because we stopped in the Grand Canyon on the way. This is what I mean about 4,000 miles. It's not 4,000 miles from Los Angeles to Boston. It's about 3,000 in a straight line, right? But we didn't go in a straight line. That truck has been everywhere. I've driven that truck to Vandenberg Air Force Base. It was sitting next to Falcon 9. Well, not next to. It was about 1.5 miles away from, actually maybe about 2 miles from all the launch pads in Vandenberg. I have pictures of it at Lompoc Surf in Vandenberg. I drove that truck up PCH with Bremo, and then we made a stop in Flagstaff, Arizona, and we went north. Well, we went north, a little ways north of Flagstaff, Arizona, and we went and saw the Grand Canyon at Mather Point, and I proposed to Bremo there with that truck. Yes, we're not getting rid of that one. She likes it too much. She won't let me. She won't let me get rid of that truck. Damn, screw me, right? Yeah, and then we drove it all the way home. Yeah, nuts, right? My dad's 2003 F-350 has held on well, 270,000 miles on it. Yeah, Jack, those old Ford trucks are hard to break, dude. You poor thing. I know, I suck, right? Yeah. Yeah, you want to see this? How's this for a picture? Take a look. The Route 154 project has reached the Grand Canyon. So, we got to the Grand Canyon right at sunset, and sunset is the coolest time to see the Grand Canyon because it's all illuminated. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Exactly, Uber Monkey. So yeah, I can't get rid of that truck. She won't let me. Hilarious. It was pretty funny. I thought it was cool. But yeah. So yeah, that's Route 154, Bicephet, if you wanted to know. I want to do more road trips with that truck. Actually, I want to do more road trips with all of my cars. The problem is that a lot of my cars aren't reliable as that thing. The Mustang could probably do it. I would be cool with trying to do reverse Route 154 and then back with the Mustang. I think it could do it just fine. Yeah, Violent, I'm with you on that one. My newest car is from 2008, dude. There's a launch from Vandenberg tomorrow, isn't there? Yep, Alleviate. It would be early in the afternoon for you. It's 9:50 a.m. for me. So I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. But yeah, for that truck having 168,000 miles on it, I changed the oil, I checked the plugs, checked everything, yeah, it's no mechanical engine problems. No engine problems. The only problem was that hub. Something was weird with that hub because I tightened the lugs down. I'm still not really sure what happened. Take the truck down to Boca for the SpaceX Orbital flight test. I would love to, Forge, yeah. Falcon 9 is vertical out at Vandenberg. Sweet. Yeah, see, right, literally almost, well, actually, not literally, almost where this picture was taken. About a mile down the road from where this picture was taken is where the truck has been, which is pretty cool. I think that's really neat. You love your E90. The only reason I switched is to go for electric propulsion. Yeah, all right. That's cool. Yeah. We're not doing wedding countdown until the house is finished. Yeah, one at a time. So, yeah, that's Route 154. And, you know, if Primo and I can get this closed, if we can get the close on this house, like I said, I'll have a freaking workshop so we can do cool things to the truck. Some of the things I was thinking of doing with Tough Enough is swapping it to four-wheel drive. And I know that we should probably just do a frame swap with that, but I don't want to do a frame swap. I want to modify the existing frame because I ship a Theseus and whatnot. So we'll work on trying to get a front axle or get twin eye front axles for it and get a better transmission for it and stuff. I'd like to make it 4x4 because it's a 4x2 right now. Not if, when. Nothing is a... Ernok, no. No. It's not when. I am skeptical of this entire thing until I get a key in my damn hand. Okay? That's it. Imagine mini EJs around. What? It's not the mini EJs you should be worried about. It's the mini Brimos, am I right? Better transmission. Doesn't the existing one have a spot for the front drive shaft for PTO? Oh, Synerd, the Germans, man. It's got a ZF transmission in it, or ZF, I guess, for everybody else. There's two different types of that transmission that they made. The ZF547, there's a 4-wheel drive one and there's a 2-wheel drive one. The transfer case is not, it's not like a Chevy, it's not like a 4L60 or a 4L80 where you can bolt it onto the back. You could just bolt the transfer case onto the output shaft, basically. Can't do that with this. You have to take the entire transmission apart. Because the whole back flange on the end of the transmission where the output shaft is so with the ZF transmission, the counter shaft and the main shaft are mounted to the backing plate because sure, why not? So if you want to switch to a 4-wheel drive transmission, you have to rebuild the transmission. Because yeah. Sure, why not? Yeah, Ernock, that's literally going to be the hardest thing. We could get axles and stuff, no problem. Or we could swap it to an automatic, but I'm not doing that. Screw that. No, it's got to stay manual. Speaking of road trips, I'm from the UK, but I'm planning to do a road trip to the US in 2024 for the solar eclipse. Del Rio, Austin, Florida, with a sneaky stop off in Boca. That's a long way, Fizz. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna blow your mind how big this country is. It's just, I've driven across the whole thing, man. It just goes on and on and on. The thing's freaking huge. It's a big one. Take that truck down to Boca for the SpaceX orbital flight test if the truck survives that. It'll survive that, Forge, but that orbital flight test might just happen to be right when I'm freaking moving. So, yeah, that's gonna be not fun, but we'll see. It's no big deal. You have a bathtub to store the transmission in while you work on it soon. You close now? On the 29th, Alleviate. Yeah. You know what the thing is? You know what's interesting to me? Like, I keep thinking, like, oh man, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to transmission. It's gonna suck, blah 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 blah. Dude, I'll have a workshop. I'll have space to take the whole thing apart and put it all back together. I'm not that worried about that. I live in Holland. From west to east, it takes 3, maybe 4 hours with train. If I took a train, if I was going to take a train from Boston to Los Angeles, you can. There are passenger trains that do that. It would take 3 days. 3 days. Those EFs are dynamite transmissions, but I mean, content is content. Or we could just get, Ernock, we could just go get a T18. We could put a T18 in there. Just the old transmission from like trucks from the 70s. We could just go find one of those and put that in there. It'll bolt in. Without derailments, it takes about 3 days. It takes about, it takes a freaking week to drive across this freaking thing, man. I've rebuilt the 4L60 with a YouTube guide. Yeah, Chris, I think with chat looking over my shoulder, it'll be fine. Because what I found is that, like, if you don't know what you're doing, but you want to learn, chat's very, very helpful. Chat is not helpful if you're cocky about it. If I'm like, yeah, I can rebuild this transmission. Hey, what do I do now? Then they're like, we're not telling you. As long as you're like, you understand and you convey the point that you have no idea what's going on, people are super freaking helpful. Yeah, so Violent, that should give you a little bit of a perspective. By train, it'd take you 3 or 4 hours across your entire country. You know where 3 or 4 hours is going to get me? To the end of my state. And then there's 50 other ones. I'm telling you, man, it's 3,000 miles that way. It's a long way. I've driven the whole thing. It's a long way, dude. Yeah, Signer, yeah, it's pretty cool. Your dad bought you a 96 Ranger with only 50,000 miles on it. It'll be my daily when you get your license. Jack, the Rangers are nice, man. You know why Rangers are good? So your dad's smart. Because if you break it, which you will, if you break it, they made a bajillion of those things. So you can go find parts anywhere. It's easy to fix. It's easy to keep running. And you know what? Rangers get great grass mileage. 420. No, they get great gas mileage. Yeah. Here, let's go back over here. Enough about cars. You guys can't do that. You can't just go talking about cars, man. I'll go on a freaking diatribe about it. Let's get back into space. Watch. You know what's funny? I'm calling it now. Literally the next shot will have a car that I like in it. And watch, it's going to be a Chevy now that I said something. Yeah, Karmas. I've made that drive. I drove tough enough up PCH. We drove it all the way to Vandenberg, all the way to Lompoc Surf. Or Lompoc Surf. Bird! Trash! Porta potties. Yes. Hey, we need to redesign this truck, guys. Alright, cool. What should we make it look like? Let's make it look like a Pontiac Aztec. It'll be fine. Oh, okay, cool. Sweet. Good idea, man, because that didn't end last time we tried to style something like that. Alright, cool. That's a test cap for the dynamic test stand that's out there. Yeah, planes are faster, Electrocutor. Why make a maglev when you could make a wing levitation train? Yeah, they got a word for that. It's called airplane. Yep, so this thing, see these gigantic bungee cords? This thing is part of a dynamic test stand that's basically a giant can crusher. Basically, there's hydraulic jacks, right? They put the booster on a platform or it'd probably be for the booster. They put the booster on this stand, right? And the stand has a bunch of hydraulic jacks around it. And then they attach these big freaking ropes to that. And this whole cap thing pulls down on the booster to simulate compression load. So basically it kind of simulates the load on one of these things of having a like 120-ton Starship sitting on top of it. That's what this thing does. They're moving it to the pad, indicating that they're going to be doing some dynamic testing with Super Heavy probably in the near future. Nice, Garmers. There you go. The 7.1 test tank will be using this. Yo! Boss, man. Actually, speaking of wrenching streams, what's up? Yeah, those are big bungee cords, man. Yo, what's going on, Hoss Raiders? Wait, Corey was working on the Twitch 46 build, right? That's what he was doing today. He was wrenching, right? How good was it? Was it legit? Dopest, was it legit, dude? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Haas, thank you for the raid. You guys know my buddy Haas. He does GTA RP and wrenching streams now. Haas rolling up on you. What up, Chip Wheeler? If you watch the stream, you'll get it. Chopping off some fenders. Nice, Corza. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Chopped up the fenders for the wide body. Yeah, he's putting a Rocket Bunny kit on the on that E46. That's cool, man. That's cool. Very legit. Chimp wiener. Anyway. Haas, thanks, buddy, for the raid. He's probably gassed from wrenching all day, dude. Oh, there he is. There he is. Appreciate you, man. Come on now. Show him the thing. Just cleaning up the shop lurking right now. Yeah, you do your thing. He has to. Trust me, winding down from an auto stream takes some time. It's not just there. So Haas, do your thing. We'll talk about other stuff later.
Go and throttle up.
Oh, you got gifted a sub too. Right on. Oh yeah. Show it. So Haas, we're going to an auto show on the 26th. It's kind of the local big show around here, and Remo did some copy for us here for the F2 Snotty. So it has all the pictures from the road trip and stuff, and wrenching on it in a Hoon parking lot and whatnot. It's pretty cool. We have some copy here. Tells the story and everything with Hoon and stuff. It's actually pretty rad. So, yeah. Dude, I'm going to be all over the place, man. Next week, we're freaking going to be out for a little while, and then it's back right to the auto show. But yeah. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Bremo made it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So, yeah, we'll tell the story. The story of the F2 Shifty continues, man. What a story that is. Yeah, it's a pretty good one, man. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Cool, you printed mission control on the poster. Yep. Ha, we'll go burn. All right, back to Starship stuff. Dang it. At least tell them why you're gonna be out. You ding. I get no respect, I tell you. I get no respect, I tell you. I get no respect. You got like a timeline on Imager or something for it? I don't think we have something like that, but we do have the VODs on YouTube. Should have a monitor playing the burnouts. Nice. Even the hell, I get no respect, I tell you. So yeah, chat, we're going to be out next week. So the 21st through the 25th, Das and I are going to cover Spaceport America Cup. It's a university competition basically down at White Sands, New Mexico at Spaceport America. For like launching model rockets, so you can launch the rocket the highest and stuff, amongst other things. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's where we're going to be next week. So, yeah, we're going to cap off this week with a bunch of launches and awesome Haas raids. And, yeah, then down to New Mexico for a little while. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Das and I are going to live stream it. Yeah, we're putting the band back together. We're on a mission from Jeb. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then right when I get back the next day, we're going to the auto show. Which car are you taking? The one that flies. That's not mine. No, I'm flying out there. Rhythm and Blues and Rocket Review. The Blues Brothers. Rhythm and Blues Review. You two girls. Tell your friends. Anyway, Haas, much love, dude. Wind down that auto stream. That's cool, man. I'm glad you're doing auto streams. It's fun. I'm going to go check that VOD later. I couldn't catch it because I was at work. Yeah. The Blues Brothers, they still owe you money, fool. I just launched. Oh, wait. My bad. Haas tends to do that. Send it. Bad work. All right, cool. So what we're doing right now, dudes, is we're kind of reviewing the daily footage that's coming out from Texas about what SpaceX is working on. I don't know if you could tell that this is SpaceX's stuff. I think they put their name on it enough times for you to be able to tell. This is parts from a test stand that they're working on to break boosters and stuff. Isn't the wet dress on Monday? Yes, it is. I might be here for it. Maybe. But anyway, thank you, Haas Raiders. I do appreciate it. Haas, thank you for the raid. You rock, dude. Guys, if you like wrenching, drifting, GTA RP, Haas is your guy. Trust me. He's a way better driver of race cars than I am. Go give him a follow, okay? Good dude. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Yeah, Grab, it is pretty damn funny. It makes me laugh. I was watching his too the other day. I was laughing my butt off, dude. I was like, it's ridiculous. What's with all the hoses? Those are ropes, Huac. So this thing is basically they take like different booster segments, right? And they put it on this, and those ropes basically they have hydraulics that pull down on the ropes, and it compresses it like a huge press. And what that does is simulates what's called a compression load on the tanks. They use it to basically measure or replicate the conditions that the rocket might see on the way up, because there is a bunch of things that are imparting compression load on the vehicle. The first one is aerodynamics. So there's atmosphere, there's air, there's stuff that you have to move out of the way. That's why the front of the rocket is pointy usually, right? It's not pointy enough. Make it more pointy. It's not pointy enough. And then if it's a first stage, so rockets are generally like in two pieces. So like there's the second part, the second stage and the first stage, and they dump part of the rocket to for mass, so it's less mass, so it's easier to move up into space, right? The first stage, like right when you take off, has the second stage, which is not light, on top of it, so it does get compressed. So that test stand right there is, in rocket science, it's called the dynamic test stand. That's what that's what that thing is. They're going to use it to test something. They're going to crush something. It's not pointy enough. Yeah, Wild Dog, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Haas is cool, man. Good dude. I wouldn't steer you wrong with streamers, guys. I'm very particular about that. So like this thing would go like on top of one of these boosters, and then they have the stand down here, and the jacks will pull down on those ropes and it'll crush the thing. Those are very thick boy ropes. Very thick boy ropes. I like the transport truck, dude. I want to go drifting with one of those transporters. No. How many trucks can it pull? Yes. Some good rope. Hunter, name one thing you're gonna need this stupid freaking rope for. Yeah, Charles Bronson, he always has a rope. He always has a rope, man. Ah, alright. Get your stupid freaking rope. It's a great movie. You and your freaking rope. That was way too easy. Hi. Yeah, that crane's running a lot of counterweight right there. See, each one of these blocks that look like gigantic big boy Legos, 22,000 pounds. Each one of them. There's a lot of them. That's a lot of weight. But you need that when you're running the crane, and he's got more down there on the bottom. That's a lot. So, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 150,000 kilograms on each side. Yeah, that's like between both of the saddles on the back of that thing, that's like 600,000 pounds. That's a lot. Yeah, 660,000 pounds of counterweight on the back of that crane. But that crane is used for lifting stuff like that thing up. Yeah, she's a beast, dude. She's a freaking beast. It's electro-optimized, Grab Shark. Think of it kind of like an airplane. I know people that run cranes like that. Those guys are working on the booster disconnect, so basically this is the fuel line for the big tall thing when it's sitting on the pad. If you look at this triangular part right here, that's attached to a kind of connecting rod almost. That thing slams down shut because this thing fills up the rocket. There's an umbilical in there, and the umbilical kind of extends out this way, and the rocket would be right here. And then it detaches, and then that door right here, you can see it hinges. It slams shut because when the fuel lines pop off like that, that means the rocket's going. And I don't know if you guys know this. I know, it's pretty strange. Rockets get a little bit hot, especially down the bottom. You don't want to damage the fuel line. Yeah. Imagine being at a gas station, filling the car up with gas, and then turning the key with your foot on the gas pedal. Whatever happens, you would want that gas, the freaking hose, to get away from your car real quick. Same idea. That's why it has that big protective hood. Might have you lift up your mom. Wrecked. So this is just pictures of the orbital launch mount. It's called the orbital launch mount. Allow myself to introduce myself. So these parts are part of the integration and catching system for Starship. SpaceX is going to bring that booster, the big tall thing. That thing. See that? That thing is going to come back down and it's going to get caught. They're going to catch it inside of these rails. If it sounds ridiculous, well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't think they'll get it right on the first try. But these arms will actually close on the booster and catch the thing when it comes back down. They're called the chopsticks because it's like chopsticks catching a fly. Daniel-san. Off topic, but Icarus introduced full map outposts. Icarus introduced full map outposts? Really? Really? There's going to be a lot of hot exhaust out there. Is it catching? Is catching really better than the other options? The wannabe engineer says it's extremely overcomplicated. Well, Jack, other options would complicate the rocket, which is already complicated. So think about it like that. This would be easier to do. That's actually easier to engineer than trying to engineer some kind of crazy landing mechanism for a rocket that's 22 stories tall. Super Heavy is 220 feet tall. It's as tall as an entire Falcon 9 stack and about 3 times as thick. Thick! Right? So, building landing legs for something like that gets exceedingly complicated. And you're going to need a big landing leg to hold up something that freaking big. So at that point, why not just leave the landing legs on the ground? Right? The booster is already complicated. The thing has 33 engines in it. Look up the business end right there. That's a lot of moving parts. So it actually does get more complicated trying to land something that big, right? That's not, yeah, no. It's probably better to just try and catch the dang thing. At least that's what SpaceX thinks, you know, and I kind of agree with them on that one. That would be really hard to get that done exactly right. The legs would need to be huge. And the legs would need to be huge and they would screw your booster performance because you have to lug that dang thing all the way up into space and then lug it all the way back down. SpaceX must think that it's easier to do it this way because if they didn't, they wouldn't be doing it that way, right? Starship Super Heavy animation rendered by Seabass. Catching is at 2 minutes on the dot. Just land on the nozzles. Just land on the nozzles. Oh, okay. Here, let's see what Seabass. Here. Let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, here we go. So this is Seabass Animations. He did this here. Let's get to the good stuff. So that thing is going to do this. There's that booster hood closing like I told you, see? The clink clink. It's a pretty good render by Seabass, I will say. This thing is going to do this. It's freaking nuts, dude. Here, we'll get to the good stuff. Yep. This, guys, they're gonna try and SpaceX is gonna attempt to do something like this. They're gonna attempt to do something like this in this summer. This summer, coming to a Texas near you, the ultimate frontier. Sorry, I won't do that again. And then this thing is gonna freaking come back down. And here's what they're going to try to do. I don't know if they're going to try to catch this thing on the first try. They might not try to go for a catch on the first attempt, but also this is eventually what they plan on doing, which is just going to if it looks difficult, and yeah, I agree. I don't think it's impossible. Clearly SpaceX thinks it's possible, but also if that looks a little bit ridiculous, I'm not, dude, I don't blame you. But in Elon's terms, he said in Tim Dodd's video, Everyday Astronaut's interview with him, he said SpaceX takes the impossible and makes it late. Pretty much, Jack. Yep, exactly. This is not just the landing mechanism. This is also the integration mechanism. It'll be able to pick the boosters up and the starships and stack them and then also catch them and reintegrate them, which is crazy, dude. SpaceX, they take the impossible and make it late. That's, you know what? It's pretty smart, man. And then, yeah, it's going to stack it back. So it's not just the landing legs, it's landing and reintegration. It's actually a pretty smart idea. The difficult we do right now. The impossible takes a little longer. Yeah, right? Why does the booster not have a heat shield? Stainless. The stainless steel doesn't need one. Isn't that crazy? So check that. That was just a render by a fan. That's Seabass Productions. I'll link the video if you guys want to go support him over there. That's the real thing. This is not fake. There they are. And we've seen the chopsticks put together the rocket. We know that it can. Doesn't the booster do supersonic retropropulsion? Nope. So guys, Super Heavy is using a principle that I like to call the yeet principle. So, what does that mean? So SpaceX is relying on orbital refueling, okay? Starship is going to be able to refuel up on orbit. Starship is literally the biggest second stage ever designed, ever, by a long shot. Starship in its stage by itself is bigger than most first stages on rockets. We're talking a scale here that's just unheard of. It's 30 feet across and 150 feet tall. So it's 9 meter by 50, which is unbelievable. That is ridiculously big. So what does that have to do with Super Heavy? What do you mean? Because Starship has such high thrust to weight ratio and it can literally exhaust most of its fuel on the way up, that means the first stage doesn't need to push Starship as far, okay? So Super Heavy is not going to fly as far or as high into space as Falcon 9. That's done on purpose. Now, okay, so where does the Yeeter principle come into this? What does that mean? Super Heavy won't be able to fly Starship as far into space or as high into space, but it's going to be going a lot faster. Super Heavy has 2 times the amount of thrust of a Saturn V. That's 2 times that thing. 2 times the liftoff thrust of the rocket that we use to send people to the moon. It is an absolutely absurd amount of power. Like we're talking about energy expended on the scale of a nuclear blast. Easily on a scale of a nuclear blast. Super Heavy is not going to be able to is not going to shoot Starship higher and further into space, but it'll shoot it faster into space. Why is that important? Why does that make any sense? Okay, so it shoot faster into space. All right, big whoop. The name of the game with spaceflight for the uninitiated is speed. The faster you can go, the further you can go. Spaceflight isn't actually measured in distance. How efficient, or not how efficient, the range of a spacecraft is determined by how fast you can go. That's one of the coolest things that I love about spaceflight. It's determined by how freaking fast you can go. You can go faster, you go further. Simple as that. Distance means nothing. That means nothing. It's how fast you can go. In order for a spacecraft to get into orbit, you need to be able to accelerate to 17,500 miles an hour, or about 28,000 kph for the metric people. That's a lot. That's fast. That's very fast. Nothing goes faster. Nothing goes faster than that, right? Now, Super Heavy, it'll have a yeet principle. Like, it won't go as far or as high, but it'll go way faster. And the name of the game with first stages is get out of the atmosphere quick, right? So if you're going faster, Starship can spend more time outside of the atmosphere, right? Because so it'll stage a lot lower than Falcon 9, for instance, but it'll be going way faster. The staging velocity, so the point at which the first stage shuts down and then turns around and goes away and Starship goes into space, will be a lot sooner than it is on most rockets nowadays. Because you're going faster, right? Starship, that actually enables Starship to be able to get on orbit and maybe have some fuel left over for like landing, for instance. And Super Heavy doesn't need to do supersonic retropropulsion. It doesn't need to, because its potential energy isn't maximized as much as Falcon 9 is, because its apogee is lower. If that was Japanese, basically it's not going to... Basically, what happens if you take a tennis ball and you throw it up in the air? You're going to throw it up in the air, and then it's going to stop for a second, and it's going to come right back down. The booster is basically doing the same thing. It is a gigantic bottle flip happening. And it's a bottle flip that goes 100 miles that way. So, when I say it's going to minimize its potential, well, not minimize, the potential energy will be way lower. So what does that mean? It's basically not flying as far into space. Because it's not going up higher, it's not going to fall faster, right? As fast as Falcon 9. It will have a terminal velocity because physics and stuff, but that's, once again, that's another story. So you don't need to do supersonic retropropulsion because the heating does not get nearly as high as it would on Falcon 9. Another thing to consider with Super Heavy is that it's made out of steel. It's stainless steel. It can take a lot higher temperature than aluminum can. Yeah, oh yeah, way higher. Is Super Heavy going to reach space? I think the apogee will get up to 100 kilometers, or about 62 miles. I think it will. It will not be as much as Falcon 9. That's not from me. That's right from Elon. Freaking excellent explanation. Yeah, no problem, dude. Dude, this stuff's cool. The name of the game is speed. And I tell you, I got the need for speed. Spaceships go fast, man. That's why I like them. So do cars, to be fair. Cars are a much more accessible way for a freaking layman like me to go faster. Go faster, you know? But anyway, yeah, that Super Heavy will not fly as far, which is cool. But it will push it a lot faster, and going fast is cool. Cars suck compared to spaceships. Well, yeah, of course not, but I can't afford a spaceship, so I'll just be happy with cars right now. Maybe planes sometime in the future. Have you tried just going faster? Yep. What about cars on rockets? Well, they tried that once, and that was pretty cool. All right. News just in. Need for Speed Man. Sit stationary in chair for 10 hours a day. Oh, you're so clever. Did you write that one yourself, you dope? Just go faster, bruh. That thing does not go fast, but it is kind of cool. Have you tried just making a bigger rocket that goes faster? Oh, they're putting something together over there. All right, cool. It's freaking sweet. All right, dudes. I don't think there's much here. Was Tim the first media guy to film at the top of the high bay? I think so, Electrocutor. Yeah, I think he was. What's the fastest a Falcon booster has come from re-entry? Has come in from re-entry? Well, those ballistic trajectories that they fly during the Starlink missions, JM, are pretty fast. 1.2 kilometers, 1.9 to 2 kilometers a second. I think it's faster than that. I think it's faster. Not by much. But yeah, those things come in hot, dude. They really need to do... Like I said, supersonic retropropulsion is not necessarily about slowing the booster down. It's really more about protecting it from re-entry heating. I don't know why SpaceX doesn't say that, but it is what it is. I'm way late on this, but what happened to with that failed Astra launch? Haven't heard anything about it, Ben. I think, personally, this is just my opinion. I think Astra needs to stop changing the design. I think they're changing the design too much, but them changing the design all the time is kind of part of their business model, so... yeah, we'll see. Can you type this in Google 1-minute video? James Webb Space Telescope mirror hit by a micrometeorite. No. No. What's the damage? The damage is nothing. The micrometeorite did dent the mirror a little bit, but it was inside of planned specifications, so it's not really going to affect the satellite at all, or the space telescope at all. It's fine. Yeah, I don't need to Google that. You could just ask me. Lewis is crying in the interview about how bad the car is. In what interview? Streamer is surprisingly hilarious. Should have known as a friend of Haas. Yeah, what do you want, man? You know, like Wild Dog. You know, everybody like tries like. That's why I like Haas. He doesn't try to be some super complicated. No. Haas just likes having a good time, man. That's why I like him. Your boy, you know, I do too. You know, like it's not, but like with me, it's about going fast, man. I like things that go fast. You don't need to read too much into it, right? It's like rocket is this big freaking awesome fiery freaking flamethrower of ridiculousness that shoots people off at like 17,000 miles an hour. Like that's freaking sweet, dude. I'm all about that. You know, it doesn't need to be complicated, right? Oh boy, when's the next launch? Tomorrow at 9:50 for us, Linux. I'll be here at 9 tomorrow, dudes. Yeah, it should be a good time. What does Lewis say? Here, let's hear this, Forge. Guys, I think that's all the space news that I have today. We'll figure out what we want to do. We still got a little bit of time until we race. So we got Friday night racing tonight for the people that are coming in from Haas. I have a race league and we play Assetto Corsa, and every Friday at 9 we're in here doing our racing league, and like, you know, you finish racing, we have points awarded. We do all different types of stuff. We do NASCAR, we do Formula 1 style stuff, Le Mans stuff. We do pretty much everything. It's fun. It's a good time. But we have some time to do that. So we have some time before that. So because there wasn't much space news today. So let's hear what Lewis has to say. All right, let's hear what Lewis has to say on the subject. This car is so bad. It's just, this car is so bad. Oh, I thought it meant GTA. What's the race today? I might set up for it real quick. To be honest, I get in trouble at work because it's office politics and I'm a simple dude. I just wanted to do my work, chill and laugh. Yeah, I know, man. I know. I try to lead by example here. You know, it's my stream. I lead by example. I just like having fun. Doesn't need to be complicated, you know? Look who's P3, P4. Wow, that's strange. Creeper, what is this? NASA rovers spot something unexpected on Mars. Trash. There's a simple explanation for the stray piece of foil spotted in Perseverance photos. It looks like a piece of the aeroshell. Cool. All right, what's this? It is what it is. I think this is the car for the year. We just need to tough it out and build a better car next year. It's so demoralizing, frustrating, and upsetting. Guy's a world champion, the greatest of all time. He's not a complainer and a moaner. He knows what he's talking about. He's being realistic. God give us strength that a miracle happens for him this year. Is this a real person? That's not a real person. That's not a real person. That's not a real person. No. 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 That's not a real person. Come on. What? He's a race car driver. All they do is complain. Come on. Come on now. Wait a minute. That's not right. That's not right at all. Dude, I don't even know what to say. Are you in pain yet? What is this? Penalty confirmed for Charles Leclerc as he takes a third control electronics module. 10 grid places so far. Master plan. Woohoo, I'm a Red Bull fan. Oh, so you like championships getting handed to you. Oh, yeah, okay. That's cool. That's fair. He'll get more. He needs a 4th turbo soon. Also, people much sad space news. What is this? NASA prepares to power down the Voyager spacecraft after more than 44 years. And she's running out of fuel. They're not turning it off. Let's see. It is certain that at some point the plutonium powering the spacecraft will decay beyond what is capable of keeping the probes functional. Some estimates could be as soon as 2025, while others hope it might be later. But they have surprised NASA. It has surprised NASA engineers so far, who expected to start turning Voyager 2's instruments off first, one by one, starting in 2020. Instead, nothing has been switched off since 2008. Well, that's pretty cool. If it goes really well, maybe we can get the missions extended into the 2030s. It just depends on the power. That's the limiting point. Cool. Hey man, work smart, not hard. You know the people that say work smarter, not harder, don't know how to work hard. Hey. I personally want us to make new Voyagers and yeet the melon farmers as fast as we can once we get the EUS. That would be a good mission. Yeah. Okay. That Boeing proposal for an ICPS on top of an EUS, I want it. SLS has plenty of great applications. And there's plenty of room for overlapping missions. And there's plenty of space to be able to build 2 rockets at the same time. It would be really nice if we did that. Pain. Yeah, well done. It's more of a joke. You should make sure you work. It's more about applicative force of working hard. You work hard when you need to work hard. You work smart when you need to work smart. Sometimes working smart when you're trying to work hard makes you look like a lazy bum. But it's not one or the other. It's kind of both. You just need to have the nuance to be able to know when to do what. That's the hard part. But it's not sustainable. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Okay, let me look around. I think we got everything. Working smarter requires hard work, though. Funny. You're right. Okay, let's see. I'm looking around. Who's building space stations on Mars, or at least preparing the architectural plans? Farms, research centers? Nobody that I know of right now, Gannett. NASA probably has some plans drawn up somewhere, but I don't know for sure. Let's see. I think we're good. Let's. What do we want to play? We got some time before racing. Actually, I think that might be all I got for you guys. You know what I'm probably gonna do? It's not enough time to play a game, right? Because if we play a game, we're gonna get into it, and then I'm gonna miss racing. I don't want to miss racing, so I'm probably gonna take a break for a little while, just because tomorrow is going to be an insanely long stream. Work on the T-38 model? Yeah, maybe. You covered this? Are these the Greg Scott photos from yesterday? Oh no, a couple of Blue Origin shots from yesterday's flyover. The test stand is coming along. Ooh, yeah, let's see. Last bit before I head out. I will be back though in a couple hours. One last thing. Shuttle C. Oh, neat. With 5-segment boosters. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Zay. Pretty cool mission. Define long stream. The launch is at 9:50 my time, Alex, so I'm going to be here a little bit before that. 9:50 is about 2 hours and 10 minutes before my normal start time, and then SpaceX has a launch at 12:30 the next day, so that's 15, 16 hour stream tomorrow? Yeah, something like that? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Can you put SDS-135 of footage on for your break? Oh, that long of a break. Yeah. I'll probably be back for racing in a couple of hours. So, yeah. This is weird. NSSL might get pushed open to orbits like rectilinear halo and low lunar orbit for lunar spy sats. Oh, interesting. Sir, this is a Wendy's. So, yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break now, just because we're going to be racing into the night, and then you have to get up early in the morning. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy Space News. It was a little bit of a shorter Space News today, but Haas, thank you very much for the raid if you're still here. Haas Raiders, thank you very much for popping in. I do appreciate it. I was just about made much power to you. Yeah, Wild Dog, I usually on Saturdays my streams usually go over 12 hours. That's what I do, man. That's the hustle, man. You've gotta work. You know, I can't take vacation. I don't really have paid time off. There's no PTO here. If I don't stream, I don't make money. Why does Elon not go to the moon first instead of going to Mars? They are going to the moon first for the Artemis missions with a lander, Starship-derived lunar lander for Artemis 3. Yep. Te quiero, amigo del espacio. Yeah. You want you want friends in space? Yes. See. Anyway. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Haas Raiders, thank you very much. I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in about 2 hours. Yeah, in about 2 hours. So, thank you very much. Guys, how much did we put in? We put 7. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. I'd stream through the whole thing. That'd be a long freaking stream. Anyway, so I'll be back in a little bit, dudes. Be sure to come back for racing. Racing is fun if you like cars. And if you don't, you don't. Whatever. I'll see you tomorrow.